What if the biggest luxury in Hollywood isn't money, but the ability to disappear into the sky whenever you want? In a world where fame keeps you constantly watched, a few Hollywood elites escape into something far more private jets, personal pilot licenses, and billion-dollar aviation lifestyles. But behind the glamour lies obsession, transformation, and a level of control over the skies that feels almost unreal. Where every takeoff isn't just travel, it's escape from the world itself. And tonight, you're not just going to see who owns these jets. You're going to understand why they needed them in the first place. Some of these stories begin with success, others begin with fear, and one of them begins with a life so grounded, it couldn't have been further from the sky. Because once you step into this world, there is no going back to commercial flights the same way again. Number 5 is a man whose entire career was built on precision, discipline, and pushing limits: Jackie Chan. Most actors rely on stunt teams. He became the stunt team. That same mindset followed him far beyond the movie set and straight into aviation. Chan reportedly owns not one, but two Embraer business jets, a Legacy 650 acquired in 2012 for around $30 million, and a Legacy 500 added in 2016 for roughly $20 million. Together, that's close to $50 million in aircraft designed not for luxury alone, but for control. The Legacy 650 is the long-range powerhouse. Two Rolls-Royce engines pushing at nearly 3,900 nautical miles without stopping, connecting continents like their neighboring cities. Hong Kong to Dubai, Los Angeles to Asia. No layovers, no waiting rooms, just motion. Then there's the Legacy 500, sleeker, newer, and more advanced than anything in its class when it launched. It introduced fly-by-wire technology to mid-size jets, a system once reserved for fighter aircraft and massive airliners. Every movement is calculated, every response digital, a cockpit that feels less like aviation and more like engineering from the future. But what makes Jackie Chan different is not what he owns, it's what it represents. He doesn't fly for status, he flies for efficiency, for timing, for control. And that mindset sets the tone for everything that follows. Because up next is a man who didn't just act like a pilot on screen, he became one in real life. Number 4 is Tom Cruise. For most people, flying is a fear. For Cruise, it became a language. He holds a pilot's license earned back in 1994 and is known for taking the controls himself on private flights. His aircraft of choice includes a Gulfstream IFSP registered N80T, valued around $20 million. Inside, it doesn't feel like a jet. It feels like a private cinema suspended above the earth. High-definition screens, surround sound, a space designed not just for travel, but for immersion. Even film footage can be reviewed mid-flight, turning the sky into an extension of Hollywood itself. But there's something more haunting in his collection. A P-51 Mustang, a restored World War II fighter aircraft. A machine built for combat, now flown by an actor who once portrayed pilots on the biggest screens in the world. When Cruise climbs into that cockpit, there are no cameras, no stunt doubles, just altitude, speed, and silence. And yet, even he is not the most extreme story on this list. Because what comes next is not just aviation, it's survival. Number 3 is Tyler Perry. Today, he commands one of the most impressive private fleets in Hollywood, a Gulfstream III, an Embraer Lineage 1000, and a Bombardier Global 7500 delivered in 2025, valued at over $70 million. Inside the Global 7500, the world divides into 4 zones: a lounge for conversation, a suite for meetings, a cabin for entertainment, and a private space that turns long-haul flights into moving homes in the sky. But this story doesn't begin with luxury, it begins with fear. After September 11th, flying became something he could not face, so he stopped completely. While his career expanded, he traveled by tour bus across America, no matter how long it took. Not for comfort, but for control over fear. Then came the turning point. He studied aviation. He learned how aircraft worked. He trained his mind to understand what once terrified him. Eventually, he earned his pilot's license. And then something remarkable happened. The man who once avoided airplanes entirely began owning them. 3 jets, each one a symbol not of excess, but of victory over fear itself. And just when it feels like the story has reached its peak of transformation, the sky takes on a different kind of danger. Number 2 is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. A man whose life has been built on scale of movies, scale of ambition, scale of everything he touches. His fleet includes a Gulfstream G650 and a Bombardier Global 7500, one of the most advanced long-range jets ever built. Inside the Global 7500, the design feels almost architectural. Separate living zones, a full kitchen, a bedroom suite that makes intercontinental travel feel like checking into a private residence at 40,000 feet. With a range of over 7,000 nautical miles, it can cross oceans without stopping. Los Angeles to Sydney. No refueling, no interruptions, just endurance in motion. But then came a moment that changed how people saw it all. During a flight from Hawaii to Texas in 2025, a technical issue forced the Gulfstream G650 to turn back mid-journey over the Pacific. A hydraulic warning, a controlled decision, a return to safety. No panic. No chaos, just trained pilots doing exactly what they are meant to do. Afterward, Johnson spoke about it not as drama, but as reality. A reminder that even the most advanced machines depend on human precision, and that in the sky, luxury is never just comfort. It's trust. But nothing prepares you for number one, because this isn't just ownership. This is devotion. Number one is John Travolta. He doesn't simply own jets. He lives inside aviation. His fleet has included a Boeing 737, a Dassault Falcon 900B, and an Eclipse EF500. But more than the aircraft themselves, what defines Travolta is what he is certified to do. He holds multiple jet type ratings, including Boeing 707, 737, and 747. He is an airline transport pilot, the highest civilian license possible. And his home is not just a home, it is an air park. Located in Florida's Jumbo Lair Aviation Estates, his residence allows him to park aircraft right outside his door. Runway to driveway, flight to front step. A life designed around aviation itself. But the aircraft that defines his legacy is the Boeing 707 he once owned and flew himself. Built in the 1960s, it became more than transportation. It became identity. Named Jet Clipper Ella, it carried him across oceans, through humanitarian missions, and even around the world. And now, even as it nears its final resting place in a museum in Australia, its journey tells a different kind of story. Not of retirement, but of legacy. A machine that once ruled the skies now preserved so the world can remember what it meant when aviation was still magic. Travolta didn't collect jets. He built a life that belonged to them. And when you look back at all 5 of these stories, something becomes clear. These aren't just aircraft owners. They are people who reshaped their relationship with the sky itself. Some escaped fear. Some built control. Some turned obsession into mastery. But all of them share one truth. At 40,000 feet, life doesn't feel bigger. It feels clearer. Because up there, fame disappears. Noise disappears. Everything unnecessary falls away. And all that remains is motion through the sky. So the real question isn't who owns the most expensive jets. It's this: if you had the chance to live above the world, would you ever want to come back down?